Thanks for tuning into this channel where we're going to learn all about tarot. And tarot talks about a lot of different subjects. It talks about energy, it talks about spirituality, it talks about astrology, numerology, chakras, emotional intelligence, and a whole lot of different things that we're not usually learned in school. So this channel is going to be completely focused on helping you learn all about this energetic spiritual world that's happening all around us. So keep in mind that technically everyone is spiritual because everyone has a spirit, and the more awakened you become, then the easier it is to understand life that happens around you. If you learn something new, press the thumbs up button. If you want to support the channel, subscribe. I would appreciate all your support. This is a new channel, going to be lots to learn. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck. All of these oracle decks, the tarot decks, each of the cards represents energies, and energy is everywhere, it's in everything. And the more you understand the energy you have and the energy that powers the life around you, then the more spiritually enlightened that you become, the more consciously awake that you are, and the bigger perspective you can see the world in. So we're going to break this down and we're going to talk about different energies and how they relate to each other in tarot and in life. So let's get started with renewal. So this is like a new life, a new perspective, a new opportunity to see the world in a different type of way. And as I was just saying, we were talking about energy. So energy is a very complicated subject, but it goes into some theoretically based perspectives, which is more about like philosophy, like Plato, if you've ever heard of Plato, and Socrates and all of them. Or you can look at it in a scientific way where it can get into like anything quantum. So quantum physics, for example, would be the fifth dimensional or the sixth or the seventh or the eighth dimensional perspective, and so on and so forth. If you've ever heard of string theory and a lot of different physicists, they understand different dimensional perspectives in a different type of way. But it's one thing to understand it, and it's another thing to embody the spirits of those different dimensions. And this is what we're going to talk about. And this has a lot to do with enlightenment, with a spiritual awakening, but spiritual awakenings go in phases. And every phase that you go through, it's like a renewal, a sense of renewal in your life, where you feel like a new person because you have new energies. So if before you were very insecure, then once you earn the energy of confidence, you feel renewed. You feel like a completely different person. Same thing with maturity levels, right? If you're immature, if you're naive, if you throw tantrums, if you just seek attention all the time and you go through a renewal and you learn the lessons and you gain maturity, then you become very mature and patient and loving and caring and loyal and just a much more independent and down-to-earth person. So in everyone's life, they evolve over time and they earn different energies as they go. And this doesn't always need to be a good thing. People can earn bad energies as they move on. But pretty much anything that's invisible is an energy. So a lot of emotions are energies because they're technically invisible, right? Like if you're moody, a lot of people, they don't know why they're moody. They don't understand the emotions behind it, but then they act in a moody type of way. So this is how energy fuels your spirit and it fuels your life. and it causes consequences to happen in your life. But when you earn good energies, then you get this sense of renewal. So let's find out how to get renewed, how to go about doing this, because energy is a very complicated subject and there are so many energies, but there are specific ways that you can go about with earning different energies and starting to feel like a different person. So in the description box, in the website, there's a playbook, and it's all about understanding energies, understanding tarot, and it goes through all of these cards and what they mean. And there's also videos that break down the different type of energies. So that would be helpful for you to watch if you don't understand a lot of these concepts in this video, because it will break down the different energies that people embody and energies that happen in your life. But here we're going to break down the most important ones. It's just, there's a lot to them. So the King of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Swords in reverse. Wow, okay, this is a lot of swords. And the Four of Wands. So this is all about your intelligence, and your levels of consciousness is all about your intelligence, because it's all about the things that you learn to increase your awareness so that you can understand life in a more logical way. And once you do that, then you can celebrate, which is what the Four of Wands is all about. And see the picture here, how these two girls are celebrating. There's like a party in the background. This is the renewal. So we have to work through these low vibrational energies in order to gain the enlightenment to increase our level of consciousness. So let's start with the King of Swords in the reverse. So in the reverse, it's about manipulation and conceit, showing off your intelligence. It can indicate a rigidness in thinking, tendencies to over control, irrationality, being cold and calculated. So these are all the blockages to stop you from increasing your intelligence. And these all come from your ego. So any of the cards, the kings, queens, knights, pages, they represent the spirit of people. And anytime they're in a upside down position, I like to think of it as their ego, as their lower self, and all the energies that your lower self is predisposed to. So that has to do with manipulation, deceit, showing off, just being closed-minded, over-controlling, irrational, and being cold and calculated. So all of these things block you off from gaining maturity, from earning high vibrational energies, which stop this renewal process. So you want to make sure that you don't do those things, right? Like you don't want to be controlling, you don't want to be irrational, you don't want to act impulsively, you don't want to be cold and calculating. Like a lot of times hurt people, they hurt other people, but it's to tear their spirit down. So it's important to rise above that and to be the opposite. You want to be logical, you want to follow the rules, you want to think clearly, be a strong communicator, a leader, tell the truth, like just have bravery and courage and just wisdom as a whole. That's what the King of Swords in the upright is all about. So the king leads with facts, rationale, scientific principles, and the logical mind. He has an affinity for rules and thoughts, and he suggests finding impartial clarity before you take your next step. A lot of times this is what maturity is about, right? Instead of acting impulsively and doing things on a whim and not thinking about the consequences of what will happen in the future, you do that in advance before you make any decisions. Even though he always seeks data and proof, he also knows that blending experience with inventiveness, or blending intelligence with emotional and spiritual energies allows for well-rounded success. And this is because intelligence is not just book smarts. Intelligence is street smarts, intelligence is common sense, and all of these things lead to higher levels of awareness, higher levels of consciousness. So that's what you want to seek. It says, be courageous of the pursuit of your path to renewal and find your own methodological, confident authority by knowing the way rather than just feeling the way. And it says, I make intelligence and wise decisions about my future. And as soon as you do that, and as soon as you take the time to implement that in your life and take the time to earn those energies and see the consequences of those good energies that you're embodying, then you'll start going through the renewal process. So then you have the Eight of Swords. In the reverse, it's all about being a victim, feeling helpless, using your stories or past experiences as excuses to remain shackled. So when you get renewed, it's about releasing low vibrational energy because she's only embodying high vibrational energy. So like I was just saying, hurt people, they like to hurt people. So when you get stuck in your low vibrational energies, like being a victim, feeling helpless, using past experiences, excuses to hold you back, then you're never going to achieve this renewal, this new perspective on life because you're stuck in the past. So you want to make sure that you don't do that. So in the upright, it says, this is a gentle reminder that you create your reality. Look beyond the veil of illusion that your current limitations are projecting. If you are feeling trapped with no path forward, remember that this too is a perspective that can be lifted. When you choose sovereignty over victimhood, you become the fierce wielder of choice. Sorry, I'm not very good with some grammar words. You can free yourself from your shackles and shift your outcome dramatically by accepting that you are the one person who is responsible for your happiness. Create infinite portals of possibility by becoming the solution. We are never really stuck. Nurture your soul and spend the time you need to transmute any feeling of helplessness. While we can't control every experience that is put on our path, we can definitely work on how we respond to each one. Let go of old stories and be vigilant of any wallowing, low vibe thoughts that you may be holding on to. Reframe your experiences as lessons and choose to heal. So healing is a very difficult yet extremely important part of life for anyone to release their past. But healing is a complicated subject. On the website, there's personalized help and personalized readings. If you need help with your own healing, then check that out. But if you read up on it and you learn about it and you figure out how to heal yourself, you're going to feel like a brand new person. You're going to release all that baggage, all that metaphorical baggage from your past. And as soon as you release it, you start to feel lighter and you start feeling more free and you feel better and you start to gain back your childlike innocence again. So then you have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. So it's about paranoia, deeply anchored fears, the inability to think clearly, inner turmoil, negative self-talk, which affects your self-esteem, and an opportunity to actively begin the healing journey. So the Nine of Swords is like being in a mental prison where your mind is essentially your own worst enemy. So if you get stuck in this level of consciousness, and if your spirit is operating off such low vibrational energy, then you're not going to feel renewed. You're just going to be stuck in that until you decide to change. And this is what healing is all about, is deciding to change your energy, which automatically changes your level of consciousness. So for example, if you're upset over anything, but let's just use like a breakup as an example. You can be in a mental prison and be like, oh, why did he or she do that to me? Like, I can't believe that happened, or I should have done this, or like, I didn't expect that, or whatever is keeping you trapped in a mental prison. If you heal from that and just say, you know what, I learned the lessons, I understand the red flags, I understand what I could do differently, I now understand what I do want instead of what I don't want, then you start healing and you start moving forward and you start going after things in your life that are more energetically aligned to high vibrational things, so that you can say, well, my last relationship wasn't very good, but now I want someone who's very loving and caring and loyal and respectful and easygoing and affectionate. And you can make a big long list of energies of all the things that you do want. And if you're embodying those energies, then you're going to attract someone with those energies. This is the law of attraction. But keep in mind, there's always tests in life, so you have to make sure that you're seeing the energy of people's spirits properly in order to make sure you don't repeat the same cycle that you just went through. So this was just an example. It can go through anything, but like deeply anchored fears, the inability to think clearly, inner turmoil, negative self-talk. This all has to do with your ego. And your ego is pretty much based on all of the things that you've learned. But you can unlearn a lot of things, and this is mostly subconscious because a lot of times we learn things or we're not realizing that we're actually learning them, or we're around people who have specific types of energies that rub up on us and we don't realize that we have those energies. Like fear, for example. If you're in a room and everyone has the energy of being fearful, then the odds are then you'll probably start picking up on those energies, especially if you're an empathic person. So if you're an empath, it's really important to learn how to have boundaries, really good boundaries, so that you can protect yourself from all of the energies around you, from them taking over your emotions, your energies. But that's another topic. It's just, these are all things that hold you back, that block you from feeling like a new person, from getting out of the energies that you're used to and going into new energies where instead of being fearful, now you're confident, and so on and so forth. So in the upright, this says, what's keeping you up at night? This card suggests a time in your life when negative thoughts are gaining momentum and when you may find yourself expending too much energy worrying about the future. Perception is everything, so don't allow negative self-talk to trip you up. If a pessimistic mind talk to, or sorry, if a pessimistic mindset spirals widely out of control, it can lead to anxiety, stress, or depression, even when your thoughts carry no truth. Are you imagining the worst instead of activating the best? Flip your perspective and send nurturing, loving thoughts to your situation to overcome any disturbing thoughts. Look to the light in your situation and notice that even the tiniest window of brightness can keep fear at bay. Use your light to expose the illusions and allow worries to dissipate and soften as your bad dreams are illuminated for what they really are. And it says, I see my fears as the illusions that they are. And as soon as you start doing this, this is part of maturity, right? But this is also part of different levels of consciousness. So when you're operating off low vibrational energy, you're automatically going to assume the worst case scenario. And it's automatically going to make you fearful to do different things and to try new things because you're going to fear that you'll fail at them or something bad will happen. But when you change your energy and you release all this darkness, then you start becoming more optimistic. And this is a new perspective that's based on renewal, because now whenever you go to try something new, then you'll say, this may be not as bad as I would have thought that it was, or I should have did this sooner, or like my life has completely changed, like what was holding me back. But a lot of times it really is just fear, and fear is an illusion. The acronym is false evidence appearing real. Because fear, which is different from danger comes from your intuition, your gut feelings, from your higher self, and it's important to pay attention to any red flags of danger. But fear is false evidence appearing real, where your ego will be like, what if the worst case scenario happens? What if I fail? What if I don't do well at it? But that what if, it's not based on fact. It's not based on evidence. It's not based on anything other than you just assuming that the worst case scenario will happen. And that's why fear can be seen as an illusion. So people who have faith, it's the polar opposite of fear. So everyone in their life has free will to choose the light or the darkness, and what perspective they choose to see the world in. So once you choose the light perspective, your life will completely start to change. So then you have the Four of Wands, and this is all about renewal. This is just about the celebration of life. Bring the noise. It's time to kick back in joyful elation. You've been building foundations, and after a period of massive shifting of renewal, it's time to enjoy some well-deserved communal bliss. If you've been through a cycle of rapid expansion and awakening, this card marks a transition into a more harmonic and stable state. You have reached new levels of consciousness, and it's the perfect time to enjoy a milestone event and celebrate with the people who love you. Love them right back as they are, and make sure to relax, release, and allow your body to integrate all the lessons you've been working through. Happiness and harmony are yours to be had. This is exactly what renewal is all about. I love that. Okay, so you have to focus on your intelligence. That's how you raise your level of consciousness. But you can also do that through emotional intelligence as well. But let's get some of these animal spirit cards and find out what energies of renewal that we should embody that are based on animal spirits. The chameleon spirit, act as if. So even if you're stuck in a Nine of Swords energy, act as if you're happy, as if things are okay, because things are, if you've heard the expression, things are always okay in the end. And if they're not okay, then it's not the end. So you always want to seek the happiness in all of life's crappiness. I read that and I will never ever release that mental picture of that saying, probably for as long as I'd live, because seek out the happiness in all of life's crappiness. And that's what these cards represent. So as soon as you act as if everything's okay, and if it's going to get better, and if things are going to be positive and optimistic perspectives start to take over your mind, then good things start happening. It's this consequences to your actions, right? The energy that you embody is the energy that's going to manifest in your life. So even if you are in these energies, if you act as if everything is okay, then everything will be okay. And that will give you a sense of renewal. And then it says grasshopper spirit, take the leap of faith, right? That's what we were just talking about, the leap of faith out of these low vibrational energies into a more positive energy and see the consequences of that, right? When your spirit is high vibrational, then high vibrational things happen to you and life becomes much better. So the coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. A lot of times in life, it's important to see the darkness in order to be better. So a lot of, let's just say, criminals, for example, the King of Swords in the reverse could represent like con men and just people who use their intelligence for bad. Once they get caught, and sometimes once they get repercussions for the things that they did, then they decide to become a new person and they realize their mistakes and they learn from them, and that makes them more wise and mature, and that makes them a better person. So a lot of times the detours into dark energies will help you to find the light at the end of the tunnel, but sometimes it's a hard path to get there. Dove spirit, be peace, right? A renewal is all about peace and freedom and integrity and joy and happiness and just everything high vibrational. So you have to learn how to find inner peace. And the Eight of Swords, see here in this card, she's looking in the mirror and she's all tied up and she's blindfolded and she's not in a good energy. It's a very dark energy. That's the opposite of what renewal is. So you have to find the peace in your life. And you do that by the hawk spirit. And it says, let spirit be your guide. So in life, everyone has a spirit, and your spirit communicates to you through your intuition. So your spirit is your higher self, and you can kind of think of thoughts that just pop into your head. This is the way your spirit communicates with you. Like when thoughts come from your ego that you have to think about, those are from your ego, from your lower self, whereas the thoughts that pop into your head, those are your higher self. There's a playbook all about understanding your intuition in the description box. This explains all of this in a lot of detail, but I'm not going to get too far into it. You just want to make sure that your spirit is on a high vibration, because when it's on a low vibration, then the things that pop into your head are going to be low vibrational. They're going to be temptations to do bad things, like it could be drugs or alcohol or just bad things like that. It could be thoughts in your head that are telling you low vibrational things, like you're not good enough, you'll never achieve that, you can't be a renewed person, right? Or these thoughts in your head, a lot of times they lead to different types of mental illnesses. So you want to make sure that your energy is high vibrational so that the thoughts that come into your head are going to be ones that you trust. Because when your spirit is on a high vibration and you're following your spirit, your intuition, your gut feelings, it's going to lead you down the best possible path that you could be walking down in your life. And a lot of times you have to walk blindly, right? Like when I was high vibrational, I would get these feelings where I would have to do certain things and they would not make any sense at all. Like, for example, I had this urge to get a waitressing job. This was a few years ago. And I was like, that makes no sense. I have a job. I don't need a job. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But I trusted my intuition and I went and got a waitressing job and I met a soulmate who was really good, helped me with my healing. It was just a really positive experience to have. And then not long after, I quit that job. So, like a lot of times, life throws you curveballs. And when your energy is on a high vibration, then you can know how to trust it because it's going to lead you in the right direction to meet the right people and to be in the right situation for your highest good. So, let's get some wisdom for healing. Let's get a couple of these cards and see what they say. Whoa. This one says practice visualization. Visualize what you need to heal or create in your life. The image needs to fill all 7 chakras, so consciously place that picture into each of them. We're not going to get too much into chakras. There's a spirituality playbook that talks about, there's a whole topic all about your different chakras, but chakras are essentially your energy centers. And when they become blocked, like the King of Swords in reverse, he would have a blocked third eye. The 8 of Swords in the reverse, this would be probably a blocked root chakra because you feel like you're tied up, so you can't do anything, you can't provide for yourself, you can't have your basic needs met. The 9 of Swords would probably be a blocked sacral chakra because you're having a hard time controlling your thoughts and your emotions. But you want to picture the image of what you want to create in your life in different perspectives of the 7 chakras. And then it says, with your breath, animate those images, bring them to life, and fill your being. Your goal, to practice and believe in the power of visualization. So even here, we're looking at things symbolically, right? Through pictures. So if you resonate with the energy of the 8 of Swords, then you can picture yourself being in the energy of the 4 of Wands, which is a much more higher vibrational energy. Even the colors in the pictures are a different type of energy. So the more that you visualize things and the more you look at things symbolically and metaphorically, then the more renewed you're going to feel as a person. So let's get one more card. Okay, so it says, point out one special dream or ambition about, it says point out one special dream or ambition that you've, I don't even know what that word is, vacillated about or postponed. So just think about a dream or an ambition that you postponed. What has motivated you to put positive actions on hold? What stopped you from becoming renewed? Your goal: to determine whether your excuse is real. Remember how we were talking about fear and illusions and whether it's real or if it's not real. Identify the real reason you've delayed so that you can do something about it. So are you holding yourself back from your awakening, from an increased level of consciousness? And if you are, you have to think of why you're doing that and how to stop yourself from doing that. So then finally, let's get some messages from the untethered soul. Whoa. Okay. So these ones say, what if it is really true that God is not judging? What if God is loving, right? And this is about your sense of renewal. So if you've ever heard, if you're Catholic or in the Catholic religion, how you go to confession, where you confess your sins, you do this to release low vibrational energy. So you're not doing it to tell God or whatever you believe in, whatever religion that you resonate with, but you're not doing him to tell you all your sins, to tell him what bad person you are. You're doing it to relieve yourself of the negative energy and to just release it. That's all you need to do, because as soon as you get something off of your chest, it automatically makes you feel better. It makes you feel renewed. So in your life, you have to look at life in a different perspective. So don't think that God is judging you based on your sins, but what if he is loving you because you were able to repent and confess and to say that you were wrong and set the intention that you want to change, because that will help you to heal. It will help you to release the low vibrational energy and become a renewed person. So then it says, the spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. And we started saying that at the beginning. Renewal is a process, an awakening of different stages that you go through. To grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. Because renewal is about leveling up. And if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So if you are in the Eight of Swords energy, then you have to do things differently in order to get out of the Eight of Swords energy. But if you don't do anything differently, then you're going to stay in the exact same energy indefinitely until you decide to change. So in order to renew yourself, to renew your life, you have to do things differently. And then this one says, a wise person remains centered enough to let go every time the energy shifts into a defensive mode. The moment the energy moves, relax and release. Letting go means falling behind the energy instead of going into it. So like we were just saying, you want to leave the low vibrational energy in the past and you want to move towards the higher vibrational energy. And this is the metaphorical: when one door closes, another door opens. So when you decide to get out of the low vibrational energies, then you become renewed because you're closing a door. You're saying, I don't want to feel trapped. I don't want to be stuck in a mental prison anymore. I don't want to use my intelligence for wrong. I want to see life clearly. I want to be more optimistic. Then you get to move past that low vibrational energy, and instead of going into it, instead of embodying that low vibrational energy. And that is how you become renewed. So if you learned something new, press the like button. If you want to learn more, then subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we're going to talk about lots of different subjects to help you in life to navigate in the easiest way possible so that you can follow your intuition and become a brand new person. So I hope to see you all at the next video. Bye.